Today in Across the Fence, recreation, healthy habitats, and Vermont's great outdoors. We're celebrating a special anniversary of Vermont's town forests, nearly 350 of them across the state. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Vermont has a long and proud tradition of towns owning and managing forests for public benefit. In fact, it's been 100 years since the legislation for creating town forests in Vermont was enacted in 1915. Our town forests today are a point of community pride. They provide educational and recreational opportunities, as well as protecting water quality and wildlife habitat. Here's Across the Fence's Rebecca Gollin.
Vermont's landscape is a playground for those who like to explore. For many, that exploration happens close to home, in their local town forest.
The finches are right now. The hummingbirds will come, red-winged blackbirds at times, rose-breasted grosbeaks.
Mike Potvin and his wife live on the edge of the Heinsberg Town Forest.
My wife and I like the bird. We chose to live here so we could live in the woods or near the woods. We like the nature and the rural atmosphere, so just being involved with it was what we wanted to do.
For Potvin, being involved means serving as chair of the Town Forest Committee, a group that oversees the forests in Heinsberg.
July minutes to any concerns, any...
There are two, the Old Town Forest and the newer La Platte Headwaters Town Forest. This is a big year for them and for town forests around the state.
This is a really exciting year for Vermont's town forest. This year we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Municipal Forest Act, which was passed in 1915, which basically allowed towns to acquire parcels of forested land for the management of timber and water protection.
Many towns already had some land that was being used as de facto town forests, but the Municipal Forest Act of 1915 solidified those efforts and called for more intentional management.
Even though cultivation of timber was the primary driving force behind the town forest campaign, those who championed town forests encouraged towns to take advantage of a broad range of benefits, including helping local wood-using industries, aesthetic qualities of woodland, recreational interests, wildlife habitat, and help providing wood fuel for the poor during winter.
A number of towns bought up abandoned properties and lots that had been clear-cut and planted thousands of trees. Steve Russell has a long history in Heinsberg. He's watched the forest grow from those early days when there wasn't much here.
Well, it was quite open. Farms had just left the area. In the late 50s, bulk tanks were coming in, and they didn't build the roads into the forest to have a truck drive up and collect the milk every day. They used to bring the milk out on horse and buggy, but after the bulk tank came, the small farms up here kind of disappeared.
Russell used to come to the town forest as a kid. His father managed the forest at the time, and the townspeople would help out when there was planting to do.
The men in town, usually Sundays, they would gather together and come up here and plant trees that were provided by the government.
Those trees were a mix of fast-growing conifers that could provide a quick revenue stream for towns and trees that could be left to get larger and more valuable, either for their environmental benefits or to eventually be sold. Just a couple of miles down the road from the Old Town Forest is the La Platte Headwaters Town Forest, a 300-acre parcel acquired by the town in 2007. Much of it is a wetland forest, with a small stream at the southern boundary of the property that is a headwater of the La Platte River. It's a very different habitat than the Old Town Forest. A number of partners worked with the town of Heinsberg to help create the forest, and in the process, they made an unexpected discovery.
A really key surprise and component to this project was discovering an endangered species that that lived here, and was completely unknown to the biologists at Fish and Wildlife, and that was the Indiana bat.
Protecting the Indiana bat and its habitat are key points in the management plan here. The town has also planted trees to help restore the areas around the river, which includes some prime agricultural land.
We started planting, a couple thousand trees to reestablish our riparian buffer along the La Platte and in some of the wetter areas of the field to get a more typical diversity of species that you would find in a floodplain forest. So we planted some silver maples, we planted a lot of different types of oaks, and red maples, elms, a lot of different shrubs, and that in turn will bring in a diversity of animal species. We also, in the management plan, worked on saying that there's certain portions of it which is actually really good for some of the grassland birds. So a part of the forest is actually managed for grassland, and a portion of it still had some really good agricultural potential, and so that is leased to a farmer to continue haying.
Vermont has 349 town forests owned by 168 municipalities. While not every town has a forest, new ones are being created all the time.
Every town has the possibility of creating a town forest, and we work with partners who do a lot of work in conservation and acquisition of new town forests every day. They can be everything from a watershed forest to a school forest to a conservation area. It's really just a place that the community has made the commitment and dedication to creating as a community resource.
Here at the Heinsberg Old Town Forest, caring for the property is very much a community effort.
Fellowship of the Wheel now maintains approximately 100 miles of trails. This is one of the areas that we have trails in. You can see right up here in the forest, there's some in the background there. That sinuous, nice, curvy looking thing. That's what contemporary trails look like now. We manage about 100 of them. This is one of 8 areas that we manage in.
Mickey Stone is the trail director for the Fellowship of the Wheel, an organization founded by bike enthusiasts that builds and maintains trails for biking, hiking, and walking.
We work underneath a forest management plan. It's made by kind of a forester or state forester, plus UVM helps out with it. Once that's can come in, then we have to, be careful of certain things. We're not going to come in here and take down a tree that's 80 years old just because we want to put a trail around it. So we work around large trees. Fortunately, myself and the crew are educated in botany and geology and hydrology, and have a degree in mineralogy, and we're able to key out all the major biological features around. And so if there's orchids around or a certain species that's somewhat, not a lot of them around, or salamanders, then we'll relocate the trail for that reason.
A big part of maintaining the forests and trails is keeping in mind that people use the woods in different ways.
The tradition of stewardship that towns have been demonstrating in New England is a strong tradition, a strong history, and that history is important because today there's often intense debate about forest use and how forest resources should be distributed among sometimes competing concerns. And yet for 4 centuries, New England towns have been demonstrating an ability to act as stewards and also manage forests for multiple uses.
It's a fine balance. It's not just about just the trees. It's not about just preservation. It's not about just mountain biking. It's about a fine balance of everybody living together in this environment. And we're fortunate to have this and have everybody open to let us do this type of work here.
Big, tall, they're right beside the trail.
Working together from the conference room to the forest to give everyone in the community a place to go, right in their own backyard.
Town forests make our communities a better place to live, work, and play. You don't have to be a forest landowner to get out and enjoy and explore and discover the woods.
Celebrating 100 years of town forests in Vermont and looking forward to the next 100. In Heinsberg, I'm Rebecca Gollin with Across the Fence.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. Joining me now is one of the leaders of the Vermont's Community and Urban Forestry Program. It's a pleasure to welcome Kate Forer of UVM Extension. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
What do you want Vermonters to know about town forests today?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Judy, is, as we saw in the piece, is just to get people aware that town forests exist, that this amazing resource exists out there, and to encourage people to get out and explore and discover their town forest. I think the other thing is as we saw in the piece, we need volunteers, we need people to get involved. So hoping that the public will engage in some of that management planning that Mickey talked about and get involved in helping to care for this amazing resource.
So how can somebody find a town forest if they're not even sure their own town has one?
Yeah, on our website at the Vermont Urban and Community Forestry Program, we have an interactive map that you see on the screen. So folks can go to our website. There's an icon up in the right-hand corner to find a town forest, and go there, click on it, and you can find out if there's a town forest near you, or you can learn more information about any of the town forests in your area.
If you don't live in that town, can you still use the town forest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, town forests are open to the public. So even if you're not a resident of the town, you're allowed to go out and explore.
What are some of the events or activities that you've had this year to celebrate the town forest legislation anniversary?
Yeah, it's been a busy year. We kicked off the celebration in April, actually with the Vermont legislature doing a commemorative resolution with Senator Lyons and Representative Ellis. We had 180 of the senators, actually all 180 of the senators and representatives support the resolution. Mm-hmm. We also did a growing works of art contest with youth and students in grades 1st through 8th, where they actually developed town forest trading cards. Over the summer, we've been really engaged in getting people out and sponsoring events in local town forests around the state. And then this fall, we've been working with a Young Writers Project to do a writing challenge for grades 3 through 8, getting kids out and thinking about the aspects of their local town forest.
And right now, you're in the middle of a thank you campaign. What's that all about?
That's right. We're asking folks to think about kind of how town forests enrich our lives and our communities, and we're asking folks to go online, go to our website and submit a thank you note. It's a very easy process. The campaign really is you just click a button and you can do a 2-liner thank you. We're asking people to recognize the place, the people, again, and the communities that make these town forests possible. I wanted to quickly just share an example of a thank you note, so folks get an idea of what we're looking for and what they can do when they go online. This one was submitted to us by somebody down in Windsor. Mm-hmm. This one is actually addressed to a town forest, and it reads, "Dear Paradise Park, thank you for sharing tall forests, meadows, vast and still waters that frame the changing seasons and welcome tired geese and songbirds. Because of you, our community is connected with nature and a history that enriches mind and spirit. Signed, Michael." So that's just one example. Again, we're asking the public to go online, share their appreciation, say thank you. It's just a quick 2 lines about how the forest has impacted their life.
Now, you're also putting together a community conservation summit. What's the goal of the summit?
Yeah, again, the summit is it's actually scheduled for Saturday, November 7th at Vermont Technical College in Randolph. And the goal is to bring people together to talk about town forests, to share stories, network, and learn about how to manage these resources and how to engage the public and how to make the most of these important assets to our communities. The summit is actually in partnership with the Association of Vermont Conservation Commissions. Mm-hmm. So while the public is encouraged to attend, we are going to be talking about town forests and natural resources in our communities, and really just exploring the different values that they hold, and hopefully sharing stories and learning from each other.
And once again, realizing that there are a lot of different things that town forests can do for folks as far as biking, hiking.
Exactly. There's a lot of different user groups, and I think one of the things I didn't mention is just the importance of that management piece, and that is a real big challenge for communities to engage with all the different user groups, and so hopefully as part of the summit and part of the activities that we've had throughout the year, communities will be more prepared to help mitigate some of those conflicts or some of those issues that arise from different user groups. Mm-hmm. Because it is a resource that's open to all, we work really hard to work with communities to help them kind of map out and plan for those stewardship activities and those user groups to get everybody out and enjoying it.
How can people find out more about the summit and maybe some of the other activities related to town forests?
Sure. People are, if you go to our website, www.vtcommunityforestry.org, you'll find out more information about town forests. You'll be able to find a town forest, and you'll also be able to find out more about the Community Conservation Summit on November 7th, and register online.
And also to send a thank you note.
And to say, exactly, thank you, to send a thank you note as well.
All right, well, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.